So you want to become an entrepreneur, eh? My name is Paul with the Business Club. I am a money and wealth coach. And this is the third series, so you want to become an entrepreneur. Now, at this stage, we've talked about your business plan, and we talked about some entry-level marketing and branding to do for your business. I did want to go back to the business plan. And one thing, we talked about your vision, your mission statement. We talked about your ideal client. We talked about putting together your 1-minute presentation, and also some important techniques for building relationships, including the 5 C's of including, caring about your client, conversation that is mindful, to complement your prospective client, and to use candid humor, and also to find common ground. So those are our 5 C's of establishing rapport with your prospective client. The other thing I just want to touch upon for your business plan, is the SWOT analysis. So SWOT is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, if you're in marketing, you would be familiar with this terminology. You want to really do a deeper dive into your product or service. Understand, what are your strong points and what makes you different? What are your strengths? Is it, because say, for example, you're becoming a fitness trainer. There is so many fitness trainers. There's the Beachbody, and there's well-established gyms, and the Jillian of the world. So, what makes you different? And just an example, there's one entrepreneur in my CUNY, and what she did was she focused on seniors. Like, that's most people, you think of personal trainers, you're working with like the younger millennials, or, 30s or 40s, but she actually identified, the senior target market, going to seniors' homes and puts on workshops there, and been very successful at that. So obviously, there's a lot of money in that area. So you just got to think outside the box, come up with a unique strategy that's going to make you different. What are your weaknesses? Okay, so just watch a couple of episodes of Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary or Mark Cuban. Hear what they have to say on some of the pitches that go by them, because if you don't understand what your weak areas are, that can be shoot you in the foot later on. Because what you can do is then, once you know what your weaknesses are, that's going to be the first person you're going to either hire for your business, or maybe outsource as a consultant to work with you. And I talked before about, if you're strong in numbers, find someone who's good in sales and marketing. If you're great in sales and marketing, find someone who's strong in the numbers, a good bookkeeper, so to speak. So important to understand what your weaknesses are, so those you can turn those into strengths. Next is opportunities. Okay, so we're in the middle of a huge opportunity right now with COVID-19. A lot of businesses are gone out of business. In fact, you may even be, someone who's looking to start your own business because you were in a business that wasn't an essential service. You're looking to start your own path, create your own future. And congratulations for taking the courage and taking the first steps to doing that. So, the opportunities we're faced with now is, creating a business, because during the Great Depression, that's when the most number of millionaires were created. Those who were able to find those opportunities when the economy was shut down. Take for example Leo, who he was worked in a couple accounting firms, got laid off twice, and started his own business developing amplifiers. Partnered with a guy from Rickenbacker Guitars. His last name, of course, was Fender. That's Leo Fender, who started Fender guitar and amplifier. So it just, you just have to be able to think outside the box and take advantage of when those opportunities arise, because that can put you up ahead in the market. And because a lot of people just don't have the mindset, they are feeling down in the dumps right now, curling up in a ball and just waiting for this to get past it. But those who are able to have that positive mindset, buy when everyone else is selling, and go into the market. JT, for example, is taking that. He's taking this next level, putting his business online, and has been very successful in doing so. Whereas a lot of other fugazi coaches and entrepreneurs are not doing so well right now because they were the ballers and those that are all about the bright lights and music and big gatherings, but weren't providing the value. So that's what you want to focus on. How can you provide value? And that's a great way to market your business. Last thing of the SWOT is the threats, of course. So you want to make sure that you understand who your competitors are. And there's that expression, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. If you can, know who your next major competitor is going to be. But I would encourage you, though, to chart your own course. I fell into that trap. When I was starting my networking business, I had there's 4 other really strong. I was one of 4, I should say, very strong, competing against the BNIs of the world. And I went to the I made the mistake of trying to be competitive, and rather than what I did was pivoted the business this year to be focused on more of the educational, the mindset, that aspect of things, and. Because when you start focusing on a competitor, it's not good for you to always be worried about what your competitor's doing, what they're going to do. But at the same time, I'll give you an example. There was a very established local gym in the area, and there's one guy. He took physical education at the college. He actually was a trainer at this very successful gym. But then he went out and he started his own gym, focusing on more high end. He focused on a target market of like those who with disabilities, and created his brand on one that really cares about when you buy membership at his gym, everyone's going to know all your trainers are going to know you by your name. It's going to be like one family there. So he created his own unique brand, and also very focused on the science of working out as well. So versus the other brand, they had all the celebrity, the NHL hockey players, the MMA fighters, whatever, and they're focusing on growing outside of our local city, but they lost a lot of their local market share to this other upcoming gym because they weren't aware of their competition. So just be mindful. It's always whether there's nothing wrong with staying on what your product or service is, but you always want to be mindful of your competition so you can differentiate yourself, right? So if you have someone who's coming up really strong in one area, are they going to become part of your team, or are you're going to be a competitor? It's always better to embrace your competition, and maybe you never know, that person that's coming up to you asking you questions about your business, maybe they're going to be your biggest competitor 5 or 10 years from now, right? So that's why you always want to be graceful in your conversations, always want to be open and friendly, and so you don't want to be creating motivation for someone else to want to outshine you and your product service, by pissing them off. My father, he was actually a marketing professor, and studied the impact of Walmart as it was coming to Canada. So he was hired by a major retail firm who studied the impact. That we did a national price pointing research study to determine so that before Walmart actually came into Canada, the powerhouse of Walmart, the superstore, that grocery firm was able to have their high end and their lower end. The lower end would of course be able to compete with those Walmarts. So that's a company that was aware of their competition, took them seriously, and was able to position themselves. Whereas a lot of mom and pop stores went into business with Walmart moving in. So I delved into a little bit more on your business plan, and we talked about your branding, scaling your business, so you're up and running. Then it's ready. You're ready to to get off and running. And this next step is where most entrepreneurs fail. It's easier to create a business, create a brand, create a your own logo and blah blah blah, your own website, but to actually then get into the sales and marketing is where most people fail. So the next step is the importance of hustle. All right, so this is where you should be devoting 50% of your energy, at least maybe even 80% of your energy, is to getting out there, building relationships on the sales and marketing side. So if you're not strong in this area, then you want to partner with someone who is an influencer. Maybe they're a commission salesperson that are motivated to help you become successful. So you want to make sure that this is so critical, and this is where you should be putting all your time and energy and effort to grow your business, that you can so you can achieve success. do you want to be that, the soldier, the general going off, leading his soldiers into battle, right? So ideally, you want to be that person that's going to be out there, putting yourself out there, making yourself uncomfortable, because you have to make yourself uncomfortable in order to get results. And you want to be able to inspire others, build that team around you. So that's where, as I said, most entrepreneurs fails because, once they get that no, it's like they feel rejected. They don't like that coming, but you want those no's. You want those 4 no's. Each no is getting you closer to the yes. And it's going to help you perfect your 1-minute presentation. It's going to help you improve. You want that rejection. Rejection is good because it's going to make you better. Okay, so this is where you need to set up the hustle. So it's either go to some, join some organizations, some networking groups, Quanas or a networking, your local networking group, your Lions or your Rotary Club, or what have you. Join a networking group. And start meeting people, go to sporting events, hand out some of your product or your services, maybe start posting a blog, or a local, put on some seminars at a local library, right? So on teaching people about what your product or service are, because that's a great way. Put together some videos. YouTube videos are a great way to to show education, teach people about your product or your service. You just want to start engaging people, build up those relationships. So especially going to what we're going to now, when everyone's hunkering down and in their bunkers, this is an opportunity to build those relationships, to perfect your online, your e-commerce platform, and get out there, because when business is back to normal, everyone's going to be out there hustling. So you want to take this opportunity to put yourself ahead of the pack and get your business up and running. So that's it for today. This is the 3rd series of So You Want to Become an Entrepreneur. My name is Paul, a money and wealth coach, owner of the Business Club. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I do have a spreadsheet too to put your business plan together. Happy to send that to you, and with no questions asked. So look forward to hearing from you. It's Paul with Business Club. So You Want to Become an Entrepreneur. Own your truth and live your dream.